name is Carla and welcome to the Written Word Calligraphy Studio, and also welcome to my channel. Some of you guys follow me on Instagram, so you may know that I'm a calligrapher / invite designer. And I've been so grateful to have been able to design hundreds of suites for clients all over the world and have been featured on Vogue, Martha Stewart, The Knot, and so many other wedding blogs. If there is one thing I've learned about becoming an invitation designer, is that it's not enough knowing just how to write with your calligraphy pen. There's just so much more to it. So some of you guys have been asking me, so how then do I become an invitation designer? Like, what are the tools and equipment I need in order to get started? Well, today I'm super excited to share with you a little bit of what's in my studio and the 4 kinds of tools that you'll need in order to get started. So the first one has to do with your computer, with your graphic design skills. So the 2 programs I use on the dot every single day is Photoshop and Illustrator, so that I can be able to create my invitations digitally. So I start off with, my calligraphy work and then, or illustration or any other creative elements, and then I put them onto my computer. So the computer element, the knowledge of graphic design programs is super essential for becoming an invitation designer. As I mentioned, Photoshop and Illustrator, which are both under the Adobe Creative Suite. Photoshop I use a lot for creating mockups, editing photos, also cleaning up my calligraphy whenever I scan them in. And then of course, I use Illustrator to make those files into the actual invitation design, and also into creating them for print and preparing them for print, because Illustrator creates the files specifically for that. So that's the first type of tool that you'll need in order to become an invitation designer. The second one has to do with crafting equipment. One thing I learned about becoming an invitation designer is that you get to use all of your other crafting supplies and skills, your rulers, your cutters. I've got all sorts of ribbons, sewing that I've been able to incorporate into my business, because you just need them, and of course, aside from those crafting tools, you'll also need some kind of scanner or printer to help make your invitations come to life. So crafting tools are going to be such an important part of your roots as an invitation designer. And then of course, there's your artist equipment as well. So for example, as a calligrapher, I've got my pens, all sorts of pens. I've got different kinds of pencils and brushes as well, because I do some kind of illustration. And as an artist, all your different skills kind of get incorporated into your style of wedding invitations. So for example, this is my gouache palette. I use this to create ink as well as to paint. So you'll have to have these kinds of tools as well if you want to become an invitation designer. Here I've got a pile of pens that I use for day of details whenever I have signages and things that are not paper, because that's just part of becoming an invitation designer. Sometimes you'll need to do the paper for the day of the wedding as well. So those are the types of things you'll need. And the 4th type of item that you'll need is paper stocks, like sample kits. This is my Pantone book. This helps me communicate with my printer. So this is also a really, really important tool. I use the solid uncoated pack, because most of my printing is matte. And so my printer communicates with me at this. This helps me know that if I say this is the Pantone color, and to my printer, that the printer will be able to print exactly this color, because all of our screens look different. Like when we have the color on our screen and color on somebody else's screen, when they print it out, it's not the same. And the printer and the screen, sometimes they don't really talk to each other. The colors are just not quite right. So having those Pantone books are really good. And of course, having these swatch books are really great as well, in order for me to pick the right colored paper. And sometimes I even have different kinds of envelope sizes, so that I can check and make sure that it's the right size for what I'm trying to look for. So those are the 4 kinds of tools that you need in order to start off as an invitation designer. You're probably wondering, well, where do I get them? Or can you detail a little bit more about them? For sure, I've made this handy dandy PDF for you to download. You just need to click on the description box below, and that way you can get this PDF as well. I am also working on a full course a design course on how to design invitations from beginning to end if you're interested in something way more in-depth, so that you can have the knowledge of creating the design and then putting it into printing, and then of course doing the assembly and the calligraphy in it as well. There's just so many moving parts in terms of creating a wedding invitation that it's just not enough for this one video, but I hope that the PDF with all the tools and supplies could give you a general sense of what items you need in order to get started. Well, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in another one. Bye for now.